rotate the device. I don't want to do it like this. Can I do it like this? No? Damn! Alright, whatever, guys. It's your boy, Dirtbag Dan. HBD, the mayor of Tinseltown, Cadillac Ron. This is not going to be a Blogs Every Day about Cadillac Ron, because it's 6:33 a.m. and I'm a little high, and if I talk about Ron for too long, I'm gonna start crying. So we're not gonna do that today. Keep some dignity on the internet. But yeah, I don't expect many people to pop in this morning, it being so early, but I didn't want to have to. I wanted this to be one take. That's the Blogs Every Day like motto here. Oh my God, see, look, this is bad, dude. God damn it! Making adjustments on the fly. See, we would have edited this shit out for sure. But yeah, I'm trying. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm trying not to edit these things. I want them to be like my legit like stream of conscious thought process. So yeah, I'm driving back from LA. Last night we did watch battles with Lush and my boy Alfie and Avocado. It was tight, man. Good times. Shouts out to Ruin Your Day. I need everybody to go subscribe to Ruin Your Day if you haven't already. Go subscribe to that channel. It's the shit, man. Such a great channel. And I feel like there's so much more to come from Ruin Your Day. So good shit. But yeah, like I said, we're not going to be about Caddy. We have a whole Cadillac Ron episode of the podcast that I'm actually, on my way home to finish editing, and I will release. It'll be out today for sure. I mean, realistically, probably around like 5 p.m. And there'll be some new Cadillac Ron music. I think Lush kind of premiered some. He jumped the gun a bit and premiered it already on Facebook, but whatever. It'll be new to some of you fuckers. And then I think I do have some legit exclusive shit. So yeah. Exclusive Cadillac Ron coming on the podcast later. Psychedelic therapy, guys. It's an intriguing title. I would click on that video. What I mean by that is that I believe that psychedelics have therapeutic aspects to them, or there's a benefit for some people for taking hallucinogenics. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna give like a case study and myself as the example, basically. My life and how hallucinogenics like greatly affected me in a positive way as far as my general mental health. When I was a young kid, I was a bit of a bully. I talked about this one time. I think I did like a Facebook Live when I talked about this. But I was a bit of a bully when I was a kid. It's this very bad connection. Fuck it though, we in the game, right? We're still here. Looks like we're recording. Whatever, fuck it. I was a pretty fucking mean kid. Specifically, I don't know. I didn't really typically target like like nerdy kids as much as just people who I don't know. It's a hard way to put this. It makes it sound cool if I'm like, I bullied kids that were bigger than me. You know what I mean? And there's definitely just nothing cool about bullying people at all. But what I mean is that I wasn't necessarily like physically bullying people as much as I was like terrorizing them with the things that I would say. I was, believe it or not, I would say mean shit about people. Which is kind of obvious as far as me like transferring into a battle rap career. But yeah, I was a dick, and I would pick on kids, and it was mainly because I was just supremely unhappy myself about my the situation at home and just all whatever other shit kids are unhappy about and can't articulate. So this kind of went all throughout my elementary school and into junior high until I was in my in the summer between 7th and 8th grade or something, whatever, in junior high, I experimented with mushrooms and just immediately was like faced with my own kind of like, I just had to take a long hard look at my life, you know. And when you're 13 years old, there's not a lot of life to look at. So it was just like I felt bad. I felt really shitty about the way I had been treating people, and I don't know what sparked that initially, but just this guilt washed over me, and I felt like I had to make it right. I had to not only stop taking out my anger on other people, but also to make it right with the people that I had terrorized. And I did, and I reached out to, I feel like everyone, near immediately, and let everybody know that, hey man, like I'm a piece of shit for treating you the way I did, and I did it because I was unhappy with myself, and I want you to know that I want to make it right. You know what I mean? And all of that was like legit on the back of a mushroom trip. And it's funny because the way I felt, like I say all the time, I never had a bad trip on any hallucinogens, but that was the worst I ever felt, on any kind of hallucinogen. Like the coming to the realization that I was a bad person, as a kid, was a hard pill to swallow. So that's a bad trip, in retrospect. But it ended up leading to one of the more positive kind of turns in the direction of my life. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say that like I didn't go on to treat everybody with the utmost respect, and there's all sorts of deplorable shit that I did between the years of like 14 and 18 even, you know what I mean, before I met my wife, like, for sure. So, don't get it wrong, the mushrooms didn't like make me a fucking monk, turn me into a monk or some shit, but it really did shine a light on like what I was doing wrong. And I think that there's definitely there's dangers to hallucinogenics. People who have latent psychosis, people who have schizophrenia, like in their DNA, like in their genetic makeup, and maybe it hasn't like come to the forefront yet. They say that experimenting with hallucinogenics can definitely like bring that to the forefront. And I've known people to have talented people to have experimented with hallucinogens and never been the same from it. So I don't think that shit's to be taken with a grain of salt or to be taken lightly. But I do think that it should almost be like a rite of passage. And that's, if you look at like all these native cultures, there's all these sorts of hallucinogenic rituals that go in line with like becoming a man. And it makes perfect fucking sense, because at some point, at a certain age, I think it's healthy to like be that introspective, and look at your life in that kind of a way where you're like, oh shit, like maybe I need to fucking change or whatever. And I feel like different hallucinogens have different powers as far as like unlocking different like parts of your mind, or helping you see things more clearly. I think that LSD tends to be a little more like playful than mushrooms tend to be a little more introspective. And I feel like that maybe comes from the connection to the earth, you know what I mean? They're like actually some shit that grows out of the ground, as opposed to something that's synthesized in a lab by a doctor to create a specific reaction within your brain. Like, whatever reaction that mushrooms create in your brain it wasn't intended by a man, you know what I mean? Like, it's nature's intention. It's, whatever, God, the divine, whatever, however you see it, like, it's not, I think because it's not something that's synthesized or created for a specific purpose, and it's just something like a tool that exists on the earth, you know what I mean? That it has that kind of more, deeper connection to your whole life, and like, and is it as much of like a party thing. You know what I mean? Mushrooms are great for like a camping trip in the forest, you know, but make sure you appreciate your company and you're not focused on negative aspects of your life, or that, you know, like I feel like what happens with people when they have bad experiences on hallucinogenics, a lot of the times it's tied to loose ends, you know, something in their life that they're just not happy with the way that shit's going, you know. So it's like, it's natural that like when you're just focusing in on yourself, that these things that are bugging you are going to come to the forefront. And a lot of times, especially, and that's one thing about LSD that I will say, is that you obsess over shit in a way that like if something starts to bother you, it'll just like, you need to get to the bottom of it, because it'll continually bother you until you know, are completely over it or have confronted it, you know what I mean? I think DMT, for me, it helped me find my place in like the universe and like become comfortable with the fact, because like I talked about this in the video that I did yesterday, like I don't believe in anything, like I don't have any beliefs tied to my own purpose, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of that's like the big guiding force behind religion, is that people need to feel like they're on earth for a reason, or that like there's a meaning behind the things that they're doing, you know what I mean, or that they're feeling. There's a direction, a path that's you know, because maybe it's not so clear in their regular life. And it's hard for me to see those kinds of things, you know what I mean? Like I definitely view life as way more random and like just happenstance, and shit just kind of happens, and you roll with the punches, as opposed to like there being some kind of like plan, you know. And like when shit goes wrong, well, it was supposed to, because that's God's plan, you know what I mean? Like I can't see that shit. It doesn't work for me. So with DMT, it was like, that's still unsettling, like just that, like that's when you start, like that's why I say, and I said the other day, is I'm not a nihilist, because a nihilist believes in nothing but also believes that life is meaningless. And I was probably, at some point I was there, like not in that life is meaningless, like I don't care about other motherfuckers, but that like it's whatever, it is what it is, and like shit's gonna happen, and you know, I'm not gonna get all wrapped up in like fucking why we're here, or even try and like wrap my brain around it. I'm just gonna do me day to day, you know. And I think when I took DMT, it helped me kind of like focus in on the fact that even though we're just like you know, we're just like a part of this like infinite fucking universe, and there's probably so many different like variables and variations of life that it's so hard for any one individual to be truly like significant, especially on like when you start to like think about time and like how old the universe is, and how like what even matters, and what do we even know, like how important is humanity? And if humanity is not important, then how the fuck could you be important as a person? But like the fact that there's this thing that's in like all living creatures on Earth that like creates this like gateway to the center of the universe, and like just lets you peek inside the infinite real fast, and gives you a glimpse, and like makes you feel connected to everything on Earth, you know. That's what DMT did for me. And I would say that like now, like I definitely like, while I still believe in nothing, which just means that like I will never discredit anybody else's religious beliefs, because nothing is more absurd than like the way the world actually is, you know what I mean? Like that's the most absurd shit there is. So like whatever you believe, cool, man. I'm not gonna discredit you, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like what you eat don't make me shit. So yeah, and like after taking DMT, I felt like I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like maybe there is some like grander meaning behind it all, and maybe I don't have to understand what that meaning is, but just to know that like there's a connection between all living things, at least on this planet, is, you know, comforting. I feel like a warm hug, you know, from fucking the cosmos. Yeah. And what else? Salvia. That's bad. It's just like an ultra powerful hallucinogenic that has no like introspective properties. You just like are put in the hallucinogen blender, and then you come out like, what the fuck? What happened? What did I do for the last 3 minutes? And then they show you a video of you like going and crawling out a window or some shit. So yeah, I don't see, scratch that. All hallucinogens don't have their purpose. I don't know. I can't see it. Ayahuasca, which like brings us full circle to Cadillac Ron, because I think that ayahuasca was something that we like had talked about, and how that would have been cool. And I feel like Ron genuinely wanted to be 3.0, or that version, the best version of himself, so much that he was willing to do whatever, But hey, shit, man. I mean, it's not like a drug is a solution for drug addiction. Is pretty crazy, but it's been like, it works. I've seen case studies of different people who had, similar kind of issues with addiction. Although I definitely felt like Robert Paulson was a unique case. Probably can't like measure him up against any other motherfucker and be like, oh, it worked for him, so it worked for him too. So yeah, I think that's it. Take some hallucinogens and learn something about yourself, but be careful and be responsible, and make sure you're with people that you love and you care about and you respect you. And don't take that shit lightly. It's a valuable tool. If you do believe in some kind of a higher power, I don't. I think logically, there would be something beyond us. You know what I mean? Whether or not that thing is like a man-shaped Caucasian with a giant beard that is watching me jerk off is a whole nother story. You know what I mean? But just in general, if you do believe that there's some kind of guidance from beyond, you have to think that things like that, hallucinogens, are a tool, a gift from whatever that guidance is, to say, hey man, here, take a look inside. HBD, the mayor of Tinseltown, Cadillac Ron, and check out a new episode of the Dirtbag Dan Show, uploading on this channel later today. Go watch battles on Ruin Your Day's channel last night. Subscribe to Ruin Your Day, support Ruin Your